Doors to finish. Hey, welcome to the F1 Show podcast. I'm the host with the most, Wayne, and this is the man with the tits in the pits, Brendan. Say hello, Brendan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
How is everybody out there? We've got 28 people downloading the podcast, mate. That's we've got a responsibility.
That's something to have a drink about, isn't it?
That's something to have a drink about. So we've got loads of news for today's podcast. It's our Mazepin Special, and every time I say Mazepin, I'm going to play his. There you go, Mazepin. This is. There you go, the Russian national anthem.
That's in breach of the 10-point FIA pledge.
Hang on a minute. I'm going to give it some balance. This is the.
That's in breach of the. Is that the Russian anthem?
That was the Russian anthem. Whoa! Jesus.
Wow,
That's the Ukrainian anthem. I'm trying to give it balance. Okay.
All right. Okay.
That Ukrainian anthem's a bit brutal, isn't it? But yeah. So we've got lots of we've got lots of news, haven't we? We've got lots of news. My mate Nikki, my poor Nikki. Poor Nikki.
Oh, poor Nikki.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
It does make you think, though, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm gonna miss him. Who are we gonna shit on now when we're talking about it? Hey, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we can find someone else.
Yeah, there's always the whipping boy.
Let's see how the new rookie gets on, Joe. You know.
Yeah, we could.
Come from another superpower. You never know what they'll do next season.
Yeah, we've got lots of options for people. I mean, I've already crapped on a lot of those midfielders in the last podcast anyway. I mean, okay, so we're going to do a new little segment now called Are You Having a Laugh? Where I retract all the mistakes I made in the previous podcast because, as you know, we're not the purveyors of fake news. We're not the purveyors of fake news or misinformation. You all right there, mate? It's a bit busy down in that pit lane, isn't it? That pit lane's a bit busy. Okay, so here we go. Are you having a laugh?
Are you having a laugh? Is she having a laugh?
Okay, so here are my list of retractions from last couple of podcasts. Here we go. Number one. The voice on one of the segments, Good Race, Bad Race, is not Fernando Alonso, as I've previously stated. It is, in fact, Kimi Raikkonen. My apologies. Number two, Nigel Mansell was a part-time policeman in the Isle of Man, or on the Isle of Man, and not, as I previously stated, the Isle of Wight. Number three.
I said it was Isle of Man. So I was correct and you were incorrect.
Yeah, you were correct, and I stand corrected. Okay, so
well done.
Number three, any reference to Brendan having female breasts is purely for comedic reasons, and which is arguable in itself. And it's you're getting there, mate. You're getting there.
You get to a certain age, you know, and you get a set of man boobs that could be mistaken.
Yeah, and is not factually true. That's number three. Number four, Vettel's father is not the owner of the Aston Martin team. It is, in fact, Lance Stroll's dad. No, that's it now. I've got to do another one, haven't I?
No.
Yeah, it's Lance Stroll. Yeah, Lawrence Stroll.
Yeah, he's a dad.
Okay. Number five, any reference to Verstappen being a big baby is not true. He's actually 24. Okay, that's the end of Are You Having a Laugh? Let's have some applause there. Okay, that's a big old applause. Let's get down to business. We're going to talk about our friend Nikita Mazepin, who's sadly leaving us abruptly because he's Russian.
I think the FIA says you're not allowed to play that, mate.
Did I say that, really?
Yeah. It's part of the 10-point pledge that the FIA came up with. You're not allowed to play the anthem or display any paraphernalia, flags, colours that promote Russia.
Wow. So, like, the country has been cancelled? think.
Cancel culture, mate.
Well, I'll put the Ukrainian one on again just for balance. I've got to turn. Well, talking about balance, I'm going to turn the volume down. That's a bit of the Ukrainian. I actually think that's copyrighted, the Ukrainian one. So anyway, let's go to our first segment, Pit Talk. Pit Talk. Okay, Pit Talk. Now we're going to see. I'm going to hand it to you for all the latest news from the pits. The man with the tits is in the pits. Let's have the.
I think the main talk, the main chat before, obviously you're recording this just before testing in Bahrain, so there's nothing really new to report except everything that's happened with Nikita Mazepin and Haas, obviously. Haas.
Yeah. Sorry, go on. Tell us all about this, because
obviously our good friend Gunter commented last week saying that he would wait and take a view on the situation, and he was asked straight up if they could survive without the Ural Kali money and from the Mazepins, and he said yes, because at the time
how much is that
was
worth?
pretty much.
How much is that worth?
I think it's about 40 million.
Jesus.
But that does need fact checked, and it may be retracted next week. But so they were, at the time of previous recording, they'd announced that they were taking them off as title sponsors for an indefinite period. Now they've broken all ties with them. And as a result of that, or as a knock-on effect of that, which is up for debate, that Nikita Mazepin's contract was terminated with them. So it does go back to that question: that was Daddy's money all that was keeping him in the seat? And now that Daddy's money isn't there, is he gone? And something else that I discussed earlier with someone else was that the Mazepins pretty much bully their way into a seat and major sponsor status within the Formula One world. Previously they had been minor sponsors with Racing Point, but when Haas were needing a title sponsor, did they kind of push in and say, we'll do it as long as you put our boy in the seat? What do you think of that? Or was he there on his driving ability?
I'm just going to go with a bit of both. I don't know. It must be hard to be a Formula 1. You can't just get in the seat, can you? I mean, you can't just go. I mean, what's his pedigree? Let's just do it. I swore I wouldn't go to Wikipedia.
So he's done pretty well. He's won Formula 2, or he did well in Formula 2. I can't remember exactly. Are you Googling it just now?
I will Google it. I will.
He's got a couple of championships under his belt, and when you compare him to someone like Fittipaldi, who's a reserve driver, he's definitely more worthy of the seat. Fittipaldi struggled to get the number of points and it required for a super license, and it's questionable whether or not he's actually qualified, given the experience he's got compared to the regular route that Nikita Mazepin took more of a conventional route to F1, shall we say, with what tournaments and competitions he won on the way, whereas Fittipaldi had to kind of pick and choose and pick easier, shall we say, events to win the necessary points to gain his super license.
Let's just share the screen of the Wikipedia page here, sir. Okay, let's just share that, because it looks like he's got karting, lower Formula 3 European Championship. Has he won any of those? Has my Nicky won any of those? Those previous sort of championships, every and eventually an eventual champion. I don't know if he has he? I'll probably have to retract that next week. But
well, he was second in the GP3, so he was second in GP3.
Yeah. see, in 2020, signed for the home team podium. His first podium came in Hungary, so he's second place before taking his first.
So yeah, he's had a podium
victory. And Mazepin also won the feature race in. So he's got a pedigree. You know, he's
yeah.
Sahara Force India. Mazepin was named test driver for Force India. And blah blah blah. The following year, the Russian took part for the Mercedes in 2019 Barcelona test, where he topped the timing sheets with a time of 1:50. So I'm telling you, he's had a raw deal.
Mercedes don't necessarily need paid drivers testing for them. You know.
Yeah. So
that kind of shows that he's kind of got the pedigree, but. You know, it's not just about how good you are in the car, it's what else you bring to the table and the pressures that might bring. You know, if his dad's, you know, some fathers can be quite pressurizing in the paddock, you know, and maybe that was an issue that they had. There's all speculation, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, go on.
Haas were given an option to suspend the title sponsorship and work with Nicky, but they chose to drop them like hot potatoes. You know, the FIA came up with a framework, a 10-point pledge that included not talking about the current situation. They weren't meant to use any Russian or Belarusian national symbols, colours, or flags. Not displaying anything on their uniforms, clothing, accessory, personal items. Nothing on the car. No anthems if there are any other things. You know, it was quite a comprehensive 10-point list that Nicky admitted that he would happily sign and continue. And continue to adhere to if it meant he could continue in Formula One. They would race under an FIA neutral flag. So they had the framework in place, but still Haas decided to drop.
Do you think this is
quite interesting?
Do you think this is like purely opportunistic for them to get rid of him?
I think it might be. It smells like that. You know, there was ways they could have kept him, but they've chosen to drop him. And I genuinely don't think that his public opinion from last year has entirely gone away. You know, the incident with the lady in the car on social media, that hurt him and set him off on a bad foot.
Can you run through our listeners with that and me? Because I don't know this. What's this incident with a lady, allegedly? Can we talk about that?
It's not allegedly. It was he was filmed handling a female friend in an inappropriate manner in the back of her car, and then it was shared on social media quite publicly, and it was taken down and retractions were made, but it made a massive impact. I mean, it was before he'd driven for Haas, but after he'd been announced as their driver.
Go
ahead.
No, it just seems like it's just, you know, poor old Nicky. It just seems like he was never going to make it. I don't know. It just seems like the guy.
He's never going to grow a decent beard. Let's cover that topic as well. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had that helmet off when he was driving, then he wouldn't need to shave it. It would all just blow off.
Yeah, he's a very well shaved man. Puberty comes late to all of us. Well, not all of us. I don't know. Some of the kids at school. Anyway, that's a different topic. So, how's the money? How's this going to affect Haas? And I'm purely thinking sponsorship. They've dropped the sponsor, like you say, and they can continue without the money.
So I think there's a couple of things at play here, and it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. In that the popularity of Formula One is increasing in America, right? Which is Haas are currently the American team. Okay, there's an interesting interview with Danny Ricciardo who doesn't shy away from publicity. He spends a lot of time in America. He's a big country music fan. He's a big barbecue fan. He's always out there.
Yeah.
But he is now getting recognized in the street in America. So Formula One's on the rise. So I think it's going to be easier for Gene Haas to get other American sponsors.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Get other American companies to sponsor him and put money up before the what's the name of the other
We're gonna have to go back to Google, aren't we? We're gonna have to go back to Google, aren't we? What's the American
Andretti, before Andretti Racing comes in, right? Andretti Racing have stated they want to be part of Formula One from 2026 onwards. And that will be the big American presence. You know, they've got the name, they've got the pedigree. They can attract the big sponsors. But I think this right now is an opportunity for Haas to say to what some of the big guys, some of the big sponsors, come and put your flag on us and get in there early.
How old is Mario Andretti now? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at him. And he is just 82. Jeez Louise, he's still going.
Yeah, it's the younger Andretti.
Oh, I know that. I don't think they're going to stick an 82-year-old in the Formula One car. Oh my God! Even what's the mirror? Where's the gear stick? But I'm just seeing. So he was the 1978 Formula One World Champion. I've got that fact just straight on it there. For what team was that? Lotus. There you go. We've got some.
Yeah,
so they're coming in. Hasn't Formula One had trouble always attracting America?
Yep. But you know, Michael Andretti Racing, as a company, have a good formula, have a good pedigree with IndyCar and with NASCAR as well. You know, so they've got a big. For them to cross over into Formula One isn't impossible, especially not with Netflix and Drive to Survive and you know the two Grand Prix in America. That you know there's going to be the Miami Grand Prix and the Texas Grand Prix at the Circuit of America. So you know those things are going to boost and push the popularity of Formula One in America.
Let's have a look at Mario. He's a good-looking 82.
Oh, yeah, a bit of I've actually had dinner with Michael Andretti, totally by accident.
Are you literally name checking here? You're showing off here.
Yeah.
You've had dinner with Michael Andretti.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Tell us that story.
He was on his yacht in the Caribbean at the marina where I worked, and I was at the bar having dinner, and he was at the bar having dinner on his own, and we kind of started a discussion at the start of our meals, and you know. That was what we sat next to each other while having dinner at the bar.
He's 59.
It was. I didn't know who he was at the time, and then he threw his metal credit card down on the bar. And,
right. Yeah.
It was like, so who are you, by the way? Yeah, it was an interesting.
Were you talking about Formula One and then he threw his metal credit card down on the bar?
No, we weren't talking about Formula One at all. We were just talking about life and yacht maintenance and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, sounds riveting.
It was, yeah. I didn't know who he was, you know. So
no, I understand that. So do you think Andretti Racing, they'll probably shove a blooming Andretti in the car, won't they? This concern.
Well, it's going to be an American driver. That's what he said that every time, you know. Every time he's, you know, it's part of his, what is it, the vox pop, the sound bite that he does. It would be good to get an American team into Formula One with an American driver. He said that repeatedly.
Yeah.
That it will be an American driver with an American team, which is going to be interesting. It'll be interesting seeing somebody cross over from IndyCar or NASCAR or wherever they find them into Formula One rather than them going the other way. You know, especially in America.
It seems like a one-way track. And when you look at IndyCar as well, I don't know how many teams are on that grid for IndyCar. I mean, there's loads. There must be so much opportunity for a Formula One driver who's a middling Formula One driver. You know, they've done all right, and that we said in the previous podcast. Check it out, like and subscribe. As we said in the previous podcast, you know, they all just the middle of the field kind of F1 drivers. Off they pop to America, and they seem to do all right. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the good drivers do even better than that. You know, as we mentioned as well, that Mansell being the
Mansell
IndyCar
being
and Formula One.
I really got into Alonso when Alonso went over there, and it was a few years ago. I'm not going to say the year because I'll have to retract it, but a few years ago, and when Jenson Button took his place in the Formula One race in Monaco,
Right.
one of Jenson Button's worst races. I'll have to say, I was really sad about that. But he was doing the Indy 500 exactly the same day on the same day, and I got quite into. There is a crossover. You can get quite into IndyCar with that crossover thing, and I got right into following Alonso through his IndyCar. I wanted him to win it, you know, but yeah, go on. You were saying?
I think the IndyCar is a bit of a simpler format than Formula One.
Yeah.
I think it's you know, with the aero packages that they have, the similar chassis, you know, it's single seater, very fast, the whole thing, you know. But I think it's the natural progression is to make F1 popular in America, and I think
that always seems like their mission all the time. And I don't know whether they've tried it in over so many years, and then there was that disastrous Indy race when there was a problem with the tyres. Do you remember that one? You don't remember this one? Oh, here we go, guys. Let me just talk about this. I know that we're not doing the nostalgia segment yet, but we're going to do it now, okay? So
that's because Wayne's involved in this, and everything for Wayne is nostalgia. And the annoying thing is he's not even old enough to be like that.
I know. I'm sitting there Googling 1960s. Anyway, right. Indy disaster F1 disaster race. Let's have a look. Here we go. The
F1 or
it was an F1 race, right? It was the 2005 United States Grand Prix. I'm going to put the Wikipedia page on there because we don't always have it. And what happened was, the tyres that I think it's Michelin tyres, all using Michelin, the remaining 14. So there were, out of the 20 cars that entered the race, only 6 cars from the teams using Bridgestone tyres: Ferrari, Jordan, and Minardi, right? The remaining 14 entrants, all using Michelin tyres, completed the formation lap, but retired in the pit lane, right? So because it was something to behold, right? So because the Michelin company couldn't assure the safety of the tyres going around the track because there's a bank, and they said that the pressure on the tyres, they couldn't assure the safety. It was something to do with the compounds of the safety of the tyres. So they all lined up on the grid, and this is what the grid looked like for the race. So I've put in Indy F1 disaster race grid. I'll show you a picture.
Now
this is what
Indianapolis was it the Indianapolis Speedway course?
Yeah. Look,
right, the track.
So because they couldn't ensure the safety, all the other drivers said we're not going to race. Let's put this picture. Oh, for crying out loud! Look at this. So all that was on the grid. Look, this you can see it here. Let me just see if I can get a picture of that. What's going on there? I'm getting blocked everywhere. So you can see a picture of that.
Don't do Reddit or just.
Let's find the picture of it. We're not going to get it. It looks like they're all. But let's just. Can I make that bigger? I won't do it. But let's just make this bigger here. So as you can see, you ended up with 2 Ferraris on the grid because they're on Bridgestone. The 2 Jordans and that other team, I think it was Minardi, and that was a race. And the crowd went bonkers mad. It really damaged the reputation of F1. So the race just had to go ahead with 6 cars. As you can imagine, it's 2005.
Yeah.
Off these guys popped, the Ferraris. Off they went trotted off. And it was quite good for the other teams because one of them was guaranteed a podium. But it was a disaster, and they ran the whole race like this. And it was televised and everything, and it really, all the crowd were booing and everything. And it just seems like F1 are always trying to break America. It's like that band who's always trying to break America when they should just go, look, they're just not going to dig it because they've got karting, they've got IndyCar, they've got NASCAR, they've got their own kind of thing going on. It was. I remember watching it back when I was 2005, back when I was a younger man. But yeah, so
Wow.
I strongly recommend you would check that race out. If it was a race, the US Grand Prix, strangest race ever.
I did think last season when Lewis Hamilton was the only person on the grid.
Yeah, it was strangely reminiscent of that. It was strangely so like yeah. What did you think?
How many other races had there been with limited attendance on the grid? You know.
Yeah, and this was a classic. This was like I mean, the commentary on it. Poor old Martin Brundle didn't have a lot to talk about. I'll tell you that. Oh look, Schumacher's in the lead again. You know, and Barrichello's second, and the others are about 2 laps behind. And it was just like, and they just had to continue. It's one of those races where like the TV audiences, all the money's been paid, and all those people in the crowd. Oh my God.
Okay. So going back to the subject at hand, which is Haas, we've kind of covered their driver, but the other, you know, the driver situation aside,
right?
They've also had a poor. They've had a very serious logistical issue this week where they're not going to get the car and the equipment to the test track to Bahrain in time for the start of Thursday's pre-season testing.
But why is that? What's going on there?
They've had logistic issues, nothing to do with the sponsorship or the driver or anything like that.
Nothing to do with this.
No, it's just life, basically. Williams had it a couple of seasons ago where they turned up to Barcelona with pieces for the car and hand luggage and stuff like that because it had been getting made in the factory late, and so it's not unusual for teams to be last minute dashing to the test track and whatever. But you know, it was rumored that the FIA stepped in and said because it was force majeure and it wasn't because of their fault.
What was that word you used? What was that word you used?
Force majeure.
Is that French for what? Cock up.
A big problem.
Yeah, go on anyway.
But it wasn't their fault. So they'd offered them Sunday as a reserve day, but they reckon they'll be there in time for Thursday lunchtime to do the afternoon session. They'll be set up and ready to run for the afternoon session on Thursday tomorrow. So.
With situations like that, I always feel like some of the other teams should help out. You know, it's not.
What, lend them a car? What are you going to do?
Stick it in the back of the van. Stick it in the back of the. Stick it in the back of. You can imagine someone like Mercedes or Ferrari putting out, and Haas has just stood there with looking at their watches, going, "Where's this transport?" And Ferrari just putting up and going, "Just chuck that in the back of here. We're going there."
Well, I wonder if there's. I would like to think that there's that sort of camaraderie within the pit, where the Haas mechanics and the Haas team will be helping other companies set up their areas, and then guys, come and give us a couple of hours shift when all the corporate hospitality areas, the offices, there's a lot of stuff to set up and it's all delayed. So we'll come and help you guys. You come and help us. You'd like to think that.
I've seen that occasionally, like when there's been a bit of a disaster in the pit lane, where other like pit crew will run and try and push another car that's not their team, and I think
the one thing that's interesting, I watch Ted Kravitz's notebook, Ted's notebook.
Yeah. Are we providing advertising? Are we providing advertising?
Available on Sky Sports on subscription. But he, when his cameraman goes running off and watches what's happening, and oftentimes you see people, especially with the tires and the guys out the back that are doing the stuff, they're carrying boxes for each other, which is quite nice to see. If they're taking stuff out from the truck and then there's got stuff come back, empty boxes. I'd like to think that there's that sort of atmosphere. If there's anybody in the F1 industry that's watching this or listening to it, please comment.
Yeah, we've got comments to get to before the end of today's program. We've got
do we?
We've got hundreds of them. We've got. Shall I do them now? Oh, I'll tell you what. Let's have a little word
No,
from
let's
Murray.
do them at the end. Let's do them at the end.
Let's have a little word from Murray.
Fantastic!
Okay, that's Murray there. Murray having a little word. So we go to we're not going to do big good race, bad race somewhere in the middle because there's been no race. So should we just should we just launch to big balls?
Let's go.
Should we do that? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's get out the big balls.
Well now, James, they've changed the regulations concerning the airboxes and the wings, and yet you're still extremely fast. How do you do it?
Big balls. Okay, that's big balls intro there. Do you like it? I've modified it. So, but yeah,
nice.
and I don't know if you noticed, I've managed to fix the problem with the pit talk intro as well. Anyway, so big balls.
Right.
Who's got big balls this week? Now you're gonna hit me with some news, aren't you?
Well, yes. Carrying on from the previous section with Haas, there's been a couple of names bandied around about who could be taking the seat vacated by Nikita Mazepin. Now,
Wait. You said wait. You said Nikita Mazepin.
Sorry.
I'm not going to play the national anthem. I don't want to get in trouble. Poor Nikki. Poor Nikki.
So,
right, stop the music. Hold on.
Pietro. There was the bookie's favourite, as it were, was Pietro.
Did you just say Nikki again? Sorry, you said Nikki again.
No, I didn't.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on.
I didn't say Nikki. Oh no, I just said Nikki.
Poor Nikki.
Golden classic.
Okay, go. You were saying
bookie's favourite.
Okay.
To be the driver, the second driver for Haas
is
team was
Pastor Maldonado. Pastor Maldonado. He was always a good classy. He did win a race.
It was
anyway.
Fittipaldi, Pietro Fittipaldi, actually, not his grandfather or his dad.
Doesn't that get on you? This whole thing about if I change my name to I don't know. If I change my name to Fittipaldi, will they give me a race drive because of my name? It just feels like that, doesn't it? If you've got the right surname, you're in.
So who would your choice be for that seat?
I would go
given the drivers that are available today.
Given the drivers that are available, I mean, it is too late to be moving drivers around that are already announced, isn't it? Obviously, is it?
Yeah, nobody from the grid's going to go to is going to give up the seat with.
I wish, you know what? I was going to say the dumbest thing there. I was going to say Daniel Kvyat.
Frying pan to fire.
Christ almighty!
The other name was
for our listeners there. For our listeners there, Daniel Kvyat is Russian. Anyway, go on.
The other name was Antonio Giovinazzi, another F1 graduate, as it were, that's moved over to IndyCar or to Formula E. He's gone. So he was the other name that was bandied about, and given his he was a Ferrari driver, and he was still being included with Ferrari as a backup and test driver. So he was the other person that was named. So
here we go. Breaking news. Which is going to be at least 48 hours late, but it's breaking news for us. Go on then. I'm going to say, I would have said the Hulk. That's my guess, because I think he did like I said last time, he did a sterling job for Mercedes when he stepped in.
So the new Haas driver does have an F1 pedigree. So he's been properly on the grid, not just a test driver, not just someone who's polished the wheels. No.
Okay.
I think he hang on. He might even have had a podium, but he signed a multi-year contract with them.
Multi-year contract? Wait a minute. I'm going to think. Let me stop. Let me think now. I'm going to think. It's too late for Adrian Sutil, isn't it? Old punchy Adrian Sutil. Oh my God! Now you've made me think. When you say pedigree, what? How many years ago? Oh, he's on his Google here.
In the let's say in the Drive to Survive era, so in the last 4 years.
Last 4 years. Don't ask.
All right, there's a game here. There we go.
Go on. Go on. What do you reckon? What do you reckon, viewers? Pop it in the comments. 48 hours late. Obviously, you will know.
Yeah.
Who could it be? Go on. It's put me out of my misery. Put me out.
Kevin Magnussen is coming back to Haas.
The Mag. I just made that up. Is that what it's called? The Mag? Well, do you know, I briefly saw a little bit of that he was being contemplated. But every cloud.
Yeah.
Mag is coming back. Has he had a podium? Has he had a podium? Let's have a look.
He was second in Australia in 2014. He was... I think that's his only podium, actually.
Where's he from?
He's Danish.
He's Danish. They're not going to go to war pretty soon, are they? They're not going to invade.
Hopefully not.
Don't need any more of that. Kevin Magnussen. I spelt that completely incorrectly. Oh yeah. Oh, Kevin Magnussen. News. Oh, let's get this on the share screen. We want to really share the screen with this. Breaking news. Let's do this. Share this for everyone. Desktop 2. Share. Here we go. News about Gene Haas, F1, and Kevin Magnussen to make sensational. Was he ever a sensation?
No, but he was left. He's left field for this. I tell you, whoever suggested this at the meeting is getting a bonus. I think.
What was he doing then? What was he doing? What has he been doing?
He was signed up for some
Deliveroo or something like that.
He was
Just Eat.
Endurance racing. He wasn't quite on Love Island yet, or Dancing with the Stars, or anything like that yet. But he was signed up for endurance racing.
Well, okay. So it wasn't him that popped over my McDonald's earlier.
Yeah, he's not quite working for Uber yet.
Not yet, but hey, that's a good job. That's not to disparage anybody who works for Deliveroo. Quality. We are after sponsors, by the way. McLaren are sponsored by a delivery company, and there's a video of other delivery companies are available, by the way, of oh yes, Jesus,
Daniel Ricciardo and Danny Rick and Lando Norris delivering people shopping in the McLarens, not the race cars.
That would be quite cool.
That's pretty cheesy.
Yeah. So the Mag is back.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking fella, isn't he? Eh? I'm just saying. I admire someone's beauty. I'm just saying.
Do you mean that in a hay way or a gay way?
Well, I'm just saying he's a good look. I admire attractive people. Look at him. He's got the beard. He's got the semi-sleeve tattoo. He's bang on trend. But has he got the talent? The talent?
That was from. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that was from 2017, mate. So
was that the last time he drove?
No. No,
that was last season. That was where he was at the last. And let's see what race he won. Well, 2014, 1914. 1914. Jesus Christ, mate! Come on, get it together.
Don't mention the war.
Don't mention the war. That was another war. Oh my God, we're mentioning the war all over the place here. So let's see his results.
I did it once for me. I think I got away with it.
Yes. Oh, that's going to be cancelled soon. Right. So let's see his results in Formula One.
Formula One. He got one podium.
Oh no! Hang on. Am I not looking in the right place, mate?
No. Scroll down a bit more. Complete Formula One results. There you go. Stop. 2014 Australia second. Ooh. That was his best result. First race.
Second. Who dropped out there? 2014 entrant. He was in the McLaren. Oh my God, I'm so behind the times. If you, I tell you, if you want to know who won, the Belgian Grand Prix in 1970, then that's me, but not. Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that either. Actually,
any Grand Prix in the colour television era, you're screwed.
yeah.
Never mind the turbo hybrid era.
Jesus Christ!
Colour television.
Give me a Formula One car with a gear stick, and I'm on it. But
Oh yes, I increased the ventilation by removing my doors.
Yes, anyone where they got the leather hats, and they don't need. They've got spanners taped to the steering wheel. Jackie Stewart for all you listeners there. Okay, so
younger listeners,
all you younger listeners. So he drove McLaren for a couple of years, and then was summarily ditched. What's going on? So he was. What was this here? Was this a test driver here?
I don't know what happened in that season there.
McLaren Race Limited is a British. Oh, we know that. DNS did not what? What's the DNS? What's that mean?
Did not start.
Did not start. Jesus Christ.
He may have been the backup driver.
Jesus Christ. I'm all over the show tonight. Go on, sorry. He did not start.
He only started one race.
And didn't start that by the looks of it. He didn't get any places there. So he had a great opening season for McLaren, really. That's a solid season.
Alonso replaced Magnussen in 2015, and then he was a test and reserve driver.
Oh, if you're going to have Alonso pop in, karma. If you're going to have Alonso pop in, then that's it, isn't it? It's over. Everybody loves that.
Yeah.
So he's with Haas. He's a test driver for Haas. Is he? So in 2020. Anyway, he was driving for Haas in 2020. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
And he's nowhere in 2021. 2021 he was doing Deliveroo, and 2022 now he's back. They've got the sheet ready for him.
Oh, it's on there already.
They're really excited.
Fast, right? Who updates Wikipedia that fast?
Someone who hasn't got a girlfriend/boyfriend. I'm telling you that now.
Partner, I think, is the gender non-specific term for there.
Basically me. Right. Well, so he's our hot take. He's not our hot take. He's literally the man with his sleeve tattoo and his little bit. Is he going to replace Nicky in My Affections? That's what I'm thinking. He's literally replaced him in the team. I don't know if I can just transfer. I said Nicky. Sorry. Poor Nicky. I'm going to miss that, man.
This is the Big Balls section, and this week's Big Balls section is about breaking news.
This is so what we're saying is the K-Mag, I think that's his nickname, K-Mag. He is the man to watch. That's what we're saying. Okay. So we should have another little message from Murray.
Well, hang on a minute. We've got other breaking news.
More breaking news now.
And it might explain why Mazepin, I'm not saying which one, why the Mazepins were dropped by Haas so quickly, is that they've been named on...
don't tell me
they've been sanctioned by the EU.
Oh, for Christ's sake, really?
Yeah.
What's that for? What for?
Friends of Vladimir.
Oh, hasn't everyone been friends with Vladimir up until about a month ago? I mean, I can't.
You'd like to think it was only a month ago.
Well,
and then they stopped, but maybe it's not. So
who's been sanctioned?
The Mazepin family.
Okay, let's put the sad music, and then let's put that in there. There you go. You've just, I mean, if you,
there we go.
That's all a bit of sad news there, really. We're ending this segment on a bit of a sad note. So we're going to go to Murray for a quick little bit of enlightenment. How about that? Should we do that?
Yeah.
Look up to the skies.
Yeah.
No! My goodness!
He's gone, mate. He's gone. Thank you, mate. So now our next section.
Wikipedia.
Our next section is going to be the nostalgia section. Are you getting a little bit of a tick on your microphone there? Not that we've had any problems prior to the podcast. but you're getting a little bit.
No, I think
Well,
so.
a nostalgia section. So, should we roll credits on nostalgia on our nostalgia section?
Yeah, go on then.
Nostalgia.
Okay, that's the nostalgia section. So that's someone. I haven't changed those credits. I kind of like that. The nostalgia section. I was hoping just to take a look at Russian drivers. I haven't done a lot of what I thought, because I'm into nostalgia, as you know. Let's get rid of all this. Why can't I get rid of that bit? Well, see, why does that stay there? I never understand this goddamn movie. I just thought I'd look at Russian drivers, even though that will probably get us all cancelled. Russian F1 drivers. How many do you think there's been in the whole of history, mate? How many do you think there's been? Even though I've probably told you the answer already at some point, but now you'd think, where you gone? Your camera's gone, mate. You still there, buddy? Technical difficulties on the F1 show podcast. Okay, there's two of you connecting to audio. Oh, shit. Oh yeah. Did you get cancelled? Because what happened there? There's two of you on the screen, mate.
I don't know. I was closing some tabs down and everything just went blank and froze. Again, 10-year-old laptop, mate.
There's another one of you. Remove. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to try to remove the other one of you from the podcast. Remove.
Yeah, do the one that's not speaking.
I'll do the one that's not speaking. Unmute. Start record. I can't remove it. Can you remove it? Because it's you.
No.
Go into
Oh, is it
aha.
me?
I can edit all this out, mate. I can edit all this out. Let's stop sharing screen so I can start messing with it. I can kick the fake you. Cancel. Remove Brendan Joyce. So hang on a minute. Once I remove Brendan Joyce, you will not be able to rejoin. I don't know which Brendan Joyce I'm removing, so I'm going to push remove. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sit tight. Okay. Don't report.
I'm still
There,
here.
yeah, you're still here, mate.
Still
Well
here.
done. We're back, people. We're back. Technical difficulties. You're getting a lot of ticks on that new, shiny, brand new microphone of yours. But no worries. Right, let's go back to sharing screen.
I don't know what you mean by ticks.
Okay, where did we get to? We got to.
Russian drivers. How many there were?
And you don't.
You know, there's a lot of YouTube videos of crazy shit going on in Russia, so I would think there's probably been quite a few. I think they like their fast cars and engines and stuff, and
Well,
so I'd see quite a few.
here's where you're going to be shocked, mate. And the whole of F1 history, there's only been 3 Russian
Wow.
drivers. And
Is
what's
that
in,
Russia is that Russia as a state, or what about the USSR? Was there any of them? Did you?
well, they
Google
weren't
that?
allowed out, were they? They weren't allowed out. I mean, they must have had
Oh, okay.
they must have had a form of F1 in Russia, but we're never going to know about it. I mean, there must have been people racing cars in Russia. I just don't understand why there's only been 3. There's our old friend here, Kvyat, who I mistakenly thought was going to replace our old friend Mazepin for that seat.
Well,
Ridiculous.
where is he on that car, on that picture?
He's Red Bull. Look at that. Kvyat. He was Red Bull, wasn't he, Kvyat? And then he got booted off the
Yeah,
tour.
hang on. Like, it says there. Oh,
Go
hang
on.
on. What does the note below say? No, the current driver. He's only raced. All right, so he's never raced under a Russian flag.
Prior to F1, but has only raced as a neutral competitor. So, forever? Sorry. Has he? Hang on a minute. He must have raced under the Russian flag.
Not an F1 by the look of that.
No, I'm going to dispute this. This is council culture here, isn't it? I mean, come on, this must be. Let's go back to right. I'm going to tell you why it's cancel culture. I spotted this on Nikki's. This is the Nikki Mazepin tribute show, anyway. Nikki Mazepin, right? I don't even know if I've got a little, just for all you F1 fans, I've got a lovely little tribute at the end of today's show for Nikita Mazepin. It took me forever, and I lost the will to live. So making it, but yeah. Let's go to images, and if you look at, let's take this image here. Under here, this is a Russian university. This is the Russian State University.
Yeah, Moscow State University. Yeah.
So he never raced under the flag of Russia, but
No.
he's got this big Russian target, quite literally, on his tummy.
But then I don't remember seeing that last season.
So you saying this is just for this testing?
Yeah, I think that's a new. Oh no, hang on. Google 2021 images of them. Oh, there's some just there. Mazepin crying memes.
I've got some good memes in my little tribute. I've got a lovely tribute song for Nikki at the end of today's show. It took a long time to. If you're listening to this on a podcast, please pop along to our YouTube channel, because I've got some lovely animations which that took me a long time. And as you can tell by the video, I lost the will to live at the end. But yeah, I do urge all our listeners on the podcast to pop along to the YouTube channel. So anyway, that was that little. I mean, look, what's that there? That's 2021. Look at that big emblem there.
Oh yeah.
So he didn't race under the Russia. I don't understand. That's got to be the wormhole. He's been removed.
Well, that's it. So that headline there retains Mazepin after a conduct probe. That was them announcing that they kept him after that incident with the young lady.
Let's just play the emotional music again. I feel like he's been maligned. No one will understand you like me, Nikki. Anyway, but he must have. Anyway, we were talking about Formula One drivers in this is the nostalgia segment, but it's not much of a nostalgia because, I mean, like we've already established, I don't know. I'm not big on the nostalgia when it comes to anything after 2010, to be honest. But I remember Petrov. Let's have a look at Petrov. Let's have a look at his results. Okay, early career karting. Let's see the best
10
result.
starts.
Yeah,
There you go.
Renault 2010, see. Let's see his results in F1. Go to complete GP2 series, complete 24 hours Le Mans. Formula One results. Highest position for a Russian driver. Let's see if we can find
Third in Australia.
Australia seems to be like if you're going to get a good result. Australia they all just break down, didn't they? It's just first one of the season. No one knows. I don't know.
Yeah. Fifth in Canada, fifth in Hungary.
He was quite good, wasn't he?
Different seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, no controversy, no, controversy with him. So that's third. So we've got a third there for old, what's his chops again? Petrov. We've got a third. So let's go back to Kvyat. Must be the most successful. Has Kvyat had a podium?
Easily.
Oh, we didn't want to look at the picture. He had a problem with smiling. I always found Kvyat.
He's had a problem with his girlfriends as well.
Oh, allegedly. Come on. I don't want to have to make any retractions next week. Let's have a look.
Well, his baby mama's gone out with Max Verstappen now, isn't she?
Who's that?
Kelly.
Kelly PK.
PK, yeah.
See, I know that.
Kvyat's.
I know that because is that dad or is that granddad? We can look into that. I mean, it's way off topic when it comes to, but that's a link. That's a link. Nelson PK.
Wags is
We should make a new segment. Wags. Oh, I've got to make another goddamn animation. That last one, guys. You better appreciate this Mazepin segment. Okay, so let's look at Kvyat's results. Third in China. So the highest. Oh, 2/3. China.
Yeah, China.
China.
Second in Hungary.
Where's second? Where was that? What year? What year?
Year 2015.
What? Am I going
Hungary.
right? That's 2015.
Yeah. 10th race.
Second. Why have they made second grey? You'd make. Oh, that's meant to be silver, isn't it? Get a grip, Wayne. Jesus Christ.
Third in Germany.
Third in Germany. 15th in his home race of the place that's been cancelled. 15th. Yeah, that's when he got kicked out and booted, didn't he? He got.
Yeah.
This is how fickle it is. A third in China, and then he's booted after a 15th in Russia.
Yeah, look at them though, right? Okay, 6-2, 4-10, 6-13, 5 retired, 4-7, 10. That's not bad. And then they boot him. There's got to be something else there.
What? So what? Sorry. Man with the tits. Which season were you looking at there? Sorry, you had 6-2. What?
If you look at 2015,
6-2,
right?
4. Yeah, 2.
2015 was quite a good season. He was 7th in the championship.
Why would they boot him? And then all of a sudden, 7th in Bahrain, 3rd, and then he had a bad race in the place that shan't be named, and that was it, wasn't it? Who took his place? It was Albon, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus, I'm going to get that wrong.
No, it was Verstappen. That's the thing. Verstappen took his place in the senior team, and then he took his girlfriend.
No, that is just.
Yeah.
Oh
Pretty
my
sure.
God, that's classic. Shit, that's a shit move, isn't it? We're swearing on this. I don't.
Zach Brown.
Yeah.
Zach Brown, the CEO of McLaren Formula One, or McLaren Performance Racing, whatever it's called, made a comment this week about how Red Bull have been brutal with their drivers over the years. How they've ploughed through them, you know.
Yeah.
40% of the grid have driven for Red Bull at some point in their careers.
40% of the grid. Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's that. I do think it's that thing again with the name Verstappen. He's an ex-driver, and he was a really bad ex-driver. Josh Verstappen. Josh. And so something's happened there, isn't it? So let's go for our other last Russian driver here. And I can remember this fella. Where is it? Let's go back. Sergio Sorokin. I mean, he sounds like a Russian sort of astronaut, doesn't he? He does. What can you name the team there just from his T-shirt? Can you name that team?
You've taken the screen share off, so I can't see what's going on.
Oh, the professionalism on this podcast.
Well, if it was professional, it wouldn't live up to the tagline, would it?
Yeah, we can't get too professional, people. We cannot get too professional.
I mean, we've got these fancy. Hang on, where are we? We've got these fancy backgrounds. I have this lovely girl here. With your background. There we can go. These fancy backgrounds.
She's loving that, and it's all up to date. Look, wrong side. That way. Brendan Hartley. I wonder what year that was. Answers in the comments. We've got some comments to get to at the end. So let's have a look at.
If you look at the pit names and the names on the pit.
Up to date. We're up to date. We are on point.
On it like a car bonnet. On it like
a car bonnet, which is about as on it. That joke is about as sharp as well. So Sergio Sorokin.
For our American listeners, Google that.
Sergio Sorokin. Now he's a good. Oh, you can tell. Can you guess the year by the haircut? Look at this.
94.
94. No, look, he's a Williams there, and look at the branding.
Right.
It's not 94. That's almost like remember Travis, the band Travis when he come out.
Fran Healy.
Yeah, he's got the Fran Healy haircut, hasn't he? Let's go. He was a Formula One driver, reserve driver for Renault. Here we go. 2018. His haircut is well out. He's well out with that haircut. We have focused.
Oh yeah, I forgot how much of a fashionista you were. Wayne.
2 podcasts in a row. We're talking about hair. We're in the wrong game. I've still got the bunged up nose. I've still got the bunged up nose, guys. And I know the last podcast it sounded like I'd snorted a kilo of cocaine, which I hadn't.
For, picking your nose there on the podcast. That's something to.
I've got to keep it. I've got to keep it moving, mate. I've got to keep it moving. Anyway, so my breathing is a lot better. A lot of concern in the comments. Not okay. So let's have a look at his Formula One career. So Formula One results. Here we go. Formula One career. Sauber.
Test driver in Russia. That's because he was there. Test driver in Russia because he was there. Brazil test driver. visiting family.
He's not done well, is he?
Nah, he
He's
didn't
not
get
done
out
well.
of he didn't get a single digits.
He'll be
Wow.
doing Deliveroo in Russia at this point in time. Deliverooski, I think they'll call it over there.
He's got to be competing against Mazepin. Oh, play the music.
I'd hate to think what he's
for,
doing now. Being conscripted or something. Oh,
Well, see what
sorry,
you,
Wayne. Sorry, people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's terrible. Sorry. Don't cancel us.
Would it be bad if I said he might be driving a tank now?
That was terrible. Well, that was terrible. There you go. Have a bit of a fart for that terrible joke. Have another one. Okay, so you had a terrible year.
Scroll down to what he's doing now.
Only terrible year. Scroll down to what you're doing. I want to check out this terrible stats. Retired in Australia, not a good start. The only way's up from that, isn't it? 15th. He matched his best 15th. What's his highest? He never broke to top 10. Just Italy 10th, which is green. I don't. So that means he got a point, did he? Was that back in the? Yeah, there you got a point there. Yeah, back in the old point system. This is still meant to be nostalgia. What's the old point system? Can you remember that? No, of course not. Because yeah. So he got 1 point. Look at that. So you want to see what he's doing now, apart from driving a tank. Oh, sorry. Terrible, Muriel. Well, what's he doing now? He's competing GP2. He's not listed anywhere after 2019.
He was 2020. He was driving a factory supported Ferrari at the GT World Challenge European Endurance Cup. He's gone to endurance racing. He's gone to endurance racing.
Yeah, that will suit him well for his new career. So this is
Yeah. Wait.
Stop it! I'm really sorry, listeners. I'm sorry. It's not funny. Look at these guys here. Look, there's still a lot of these guys here. There's a lot of Russian in the 24-hour Le Mans, isn't there?
So I was looking. There's quite a big heritage for motor racing in the USSR. There was a Formula One type single-seater series.
Really? What was the first prize?
In the 50s and 60s.
The first prize was a potato or something like that. some vodka. Not to go to the gulag. I don't know. Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, let's
it's gone so political. Viewers, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happened. Let's go. I think we're nearly out of time. Shall we have one more listen? One more thing from Murray. Should we get one more from Murray? This will be the third one now. I've got to keep counting. Third one from Murray, okay? Should we looking up? You've got to look up for this. Look up.
Oh.
Unless I'm very much mistaken.
Thank you, Murray Walker. No, you did look up and you went off camera. Thank you, Murray Walker.
Oh, sorry.
And we're going to read the comments out now. We're going to read the comments from our YouTube channel. I don't know if everybody listening on the podcast is aware we have a YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. And we also have a buy me a cup of coffee sort of donation. There's a link there in the YouTube channel. And I think there's a link in the description of your podcast provider. Anyway, we're going to go to the comments here. Let's just get all these comments. Let's go for the number one comment here. Let me just go through them. Oh, would you believe it? I was so prepared.
The downside of having so many comments, you want to take the Russians off Wikipedia?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. Stop sharing. I'm sorry, Mr. Sorokin. No more jokes. Okay. So here's a comment from a drive-through. A comment from drive-through says, loving the big balls segment. He's loving that big balls segment. Okay.
He loves the big balls, does he?
Yeah, he loves. Yeah, he does love big balls, that man. And I'm gonna say, man, we don't know. Gender neutral. That's and that's it. That's all the comments. That's all the comments this week. Wow. Thank you very much, people. That was dealt with very quickly. But thank you, drive through, for your comment. It's a comment. It's not really a question, is it? I mean, yeah. I'm not here to
In his
criticise.
defense, we asked for comments or questions.
Did we? Okay.
So,
I need a bit. I thought we'd have a bit more. I mean, if he knows anything about Formula One, it'd be great if he made another comment. So it's the end of the show, and in tribute to our friend Mazepin, I've prepared a lovely tribute to him at the end of the podcast with a song, which I vigorously checked copywriting laws. Copywriting laws are a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. I often think what would happen if they copyrighted the word copyright. There you go. Bit of philosophy for you there, guys. Anyway. Okay, anyway, so there's going to be a lovely tribute to Mazepin at the end of the podcast. And we have been the Effing One Show podcast. Please pop along again just to see us, okay? Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, like and subscribe. Buy us a coffee. It's in the description. And yeah,
ask us a question.
Ask us a question. Yeah, yeah, that could go either way. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We have been the F1 podcast, and we'll see you later. On the guitar, you never anything about my own. I'll never know how good it feels to hold you. I need you so. On the guitar is the other side of any given line in time. Counting tents and soldiers in their row. The guitar you never know. And the guitar is a cold. In your little corner of the world, you could roll around the globe and never find a woman so to know. Oh, I saw you by the wall, 10 of your 10 soldiers in a row, with eyes that look like ice on fire, a human heart, a captive in a snow. Oh, on the guitar you never know anything about my own. I'll never know how good it feels to hold you. Oh, the guitar, I need you so. On the guitar is the other side of any given line in time. Counting tents and soldiers in their row. Oh, the guitar you never know. Do you ever dream of me? Do you ever see the letters that I write? When you look up through the wire, Nikita, do you count the stars at night? And if there comes a time, guns and gates no longer hold you in, and if you're free to make a choice, to slow towards the west and find a friend. Oh, on the guitar you never know anything about my own. I'll never know how good it feels to hold you. Oh, the guitar, I need you so. On the guitar is the other side of any given line in time. Counting tents and soldiers in their row. Oh, the guitar you never know. On the guitar you never know.
never know how good it feels to hold you. Oh, oh, Nikita, I need you so. Oh, Nikita is the other side of any given line in time. Counting tins and soldiers in their row.